The barrage of the news cycle is never ending.
Do not go to sleep.
News wasn't always like this. In fact, one event in 1979 changed the modern mediascape forever.
The American embassy in Tehran is in the hands of Muslim students tonight.
On November 4th, 1979, following months of protests and a rapidly developing revolution, a group of Iranian college students stormed the United States Embassy in Tehran, taking 63 American citizens hostage.
The demonstrators burned the American flag, blindfolded and handcuffed at least some of their American hostages.
Americans at home were transfixed as their TV screens lit up with images of angry crowds screaming inflammatory, anti-American slogans.
Iranians are well aware that these demonstrations are being seen in American living rooms.
Television in the U.S. was undergoing a revolution of its own. For decades, major networks like NBC, CBS, and ABC dominated American news coverage with nightly half-hour segments.
The 6 o'clock report in color.
But by the late 1970s, these juggernauts were rapidly losing viewers. As the number of television channels grew, U.S. news broadcasts had to compete with entertainment programs like game shows and Star Trek. The news needed to change or be left behind. The Iran hostage crisis provided that opportunity. It coincided with the development of videotape and affordable satellite feeds, making sensational news stories easier than ever to disseminate. And sensation sold.
The State Department is doing what it can, but for the moment at least, that doesn't appear to be much.
As the crisis unfolded, network news extended coverage late into the night, going up against popular talk shows and inching towards today's 24-hour news cycle. In the first 3 months of the crisis, 12 million new viewers tuned in, and more than 400 reporters were sent to Iran.
We will not rest nor deviate from our efforts.
As coverage expanded, networks went to great lengths to distinguish themselves from the competition, sometimes at the expense of journalistic ethics. In one case, NBC secured the first exclusive primetime interview with an American hostage by agreeing to air an accompanying statement by an Iranian militant. But this raised some ethical questions. Was a primetime interview with a hostage integral to Americans' understanding of the crisis, or were the hostage takers manipulating the media? NBC ran the interview anyway, and they knew that millions of Americans would eagerly watch. Mesmerized by the dramatic visuals and raw emotions highlighted nonstop by the news, Americans wanted more. Adding on to the conflict playing out in Iran, network news began bringing in guests to create conflict in their own studios. Much of this played out on ABC's Nightline, which exclusively covered the hostage crisis during this time. On the first episode, host Ted Koppel asked an Iranian official to explain himself to a hostage's wife.
It occurred to us here that you two might have a lot to say to each other.
Neither side was likely to be open-minded.
Is there anything you would like to ask Mr. Aliaga?
Why are we not being allowed to hear from the hostages?
Well, perhaps one reason is because your CIA is so sophisticated.
You buy that, Mrs. Moorfield?
No, I don't. I don't see how a letter from my husband to me or a phone call from my husband to me could be a threat to your security in any way.
Debates like these were ratings hits, and they encouraged networks to lean into the sort of confrontational programming you see all the time now. Television news would never be the same. How do you get your news? Let us know in the comments, and be sure to check out our new film, Taken Hostage, to learn more about the Iran hostage crisis.